I heard her before I saw her. The crunch of gravel in my driveway, slow and deliberate, like someone who had rehearsed every step. I was crouched beside my front door, wiring my new smart doorbell, still in my running gear, hair pulled back, sweat barely dry from my morning jog. When I looked up, a woman I had never spoken to in 3 years of living here was standing at the edge of my property, arms folded, jaw tight. She said her name was Linda. Big colonial house across the street, manicured hedges, seasonal wreath on the door for every minor holiday. I had waved at her maybe twice. She had never waved back. I need to talk to you about something uncomfortable, she said. Her voice was controlled, but her fingers were shaking. I stood up slowly. Okay. My husband Dennis. He watches you run every morning. I waited for the rest of the sentence. There was none. She stared at me like that explained everything. People are outside in the mornings, I said carefully. I see neighbors all the time. She exhaled through her nose. Last Tuesday I found a second alarm set on his phone. 6:52 in the morning. No label. And last month he told me he ordered a rangefinder online for hiking. She paused. We have never been hiking. Not once in 11 years. My stomach dropped. I had not expected that. Linda, I said slowly, I am so sorry that is happening to you. Genuinely. But I need you to understand what you are actually asking me right now. She looked at the ground. I am just asking if you could maybe run a different route. Or later in the day. Just until things settle down between us. Something cold moved through me. Not anger. Something quieter than that. I have run this loop every single morning for 3 years, I said. Before Dennis ever started watching. Before you ever noticed me. I run in the rain. I ran the week my father was in the hospital. This is my route. I understand that, but no. I kept my voice even. You drove over here, knocked on a stranger's door, and asked me to restructure my life because your husband cannot behave himself. Do you hear that? You came to me. Her eyes went glassy. I do not know what else to do. I cannot control him. I thought if the situation changed, then the problem disappears without you having to confront it. She did not answer. She was turning her wedding ring around and around her finger, a small, anxious orbit. That is when she said the thing that changed everything. He told me you smile at him every morning, that you do it on purpose. I felt the air leave my lungs. I smile at everyone, I said quietly. The elderly man with a dog on the corner. The woman who gardens in the early light 2 blocks down. I smile because I am a person moving through a neighborhood full of other people. That is not an invitation. That is not a signal. That is just being human. Linda wiped her eye quickly, like she was angry at herself for crying. I know, she whispered. I know that. And in that moment, I understood something. She was not really there to confront me. She was there because confronting Dennis was terrifying, and I was easier. I was a stranger. I had no history with her, no power over her, nothing she stood to lose. I softened my voice, but I did not soften what I said. Go home and talk to your husband, not about my running schedule, about what he is doing and why, about that alarm, about the rangefinder. That is the conversation that actually needs to happen. She stood there for a long moment, then she turned and walked back across the street without a word. 2 days later, I ran my usual route at my usual time. Dennis was not on the porch. The following morning, same thing. The morning after that, I noticed the porch chair had been moved inside entirely. I do not know what was said in that house. I do not need to know. I just know that I ran my route this morning in the early quiet, and I smiled at the man with a dog on the corner, and it meant exactly what it has always meant. Nothing more, nothing less. Shikadan kodka kuhabun ishik man voice or woman voice jawa kubanisi.